Hello, everyone. I'm Mitzi Robinson from Bully Ray. Today, we're going to be watching a video of a young lady going out for her walk. And you can tell it's a daily walk she probably does all the time. And then all of a sudden, right across the street, three pit bulls emerge and they're coming after her. And fortunately, a gentleman stops to help her. But I want you to watch this video. It's really important that you understand the dynamics of what's going on here and how important it is to understand that dogs build in their aggression and they build in their danger level. So watch the video. If you have any questions, obviously let me know, but let's get started.
April 23rd, around 8:30 a.m., as a woman was walking down Prescott Drive on the west side, three dogs emerged and launched a surprise attack. A minute later, cars began to stop, honking to scare the dogs away. 5 minutes go by, the woman fighting the dogs alone with every ounce of strength, until neighbor Pete Ramos Jr. drove by.
When watching this video, the one thing that I see immediately is these dogs have done this before. These dogs have done this several times before. This is not the first time they've attacked somebody. Now, as soon as you see them coming, they're very intent. As soon as they see her walking down the street, they see her, they're all laying in the yard. They see her and it's almost like, oh boy, let's go. And they get excited and they come running across the street at her. And then she fights back. One of the dog leaves because obviously that dog is more submissive and didn't want to fight. So it just left. The other two dogs, continued the fight. And so what we have to realize, first of all, dogs build to these attacks. A dog doesn't just come out the first time in his life and attack someone and try and take him to the ground. It doesn't happen. All right. Actually, the dogs have to build to that kind of, dominant aggression and also that kind of courage. In other words, the dog had to have won several times. And what I mean by one is they run out and they bark and someone jumps. That's the first one. Then they run out and someone runs a little bit, but turns around and challenges them and they go home. As you can see, every time something's going to happen to escalate the dog's aggression. Because remember, this is fun. People look at this and say, well, the dogs just, lost their minds or the dogs, turned or whatever. No, that doesn't happen with dogs. These dogs, this has happened many times before. And so when you see something like this on television, especially animal control, realize these dogs have done this several times. They might not have escalated to the point where they, started actually biting the body. But I guarantee you, they have chased plenty of people. They have barked at plenty of people. They have growled at plenty of people. And they tried to get the person to give them a reaction. Screaming is the best. I mean, that's what they're really wanting, is someone to scream, because that's going to excite. And it's going to, remember, dogs are bored to death. They don't have anything to do all day except for laying in a yard. Unfortunately, these dogs were laying in a yard with no fence. So they were easily allowed to come out and harass this person. But just remember, this was not the first time these dogs attacked. They have done it before.
I needed to help her because that lady was fighting for her life. She was going around and kicking and punching, but those dogs would not let go of her. Nobody wanted to help me. Nobody would get off.
And you can see as soon as the gentleman basically came after those dogs aggressively in a dominant way, look at all three of them. All three of them are now backed up, standing there. And what they want to do is for him to run. What they want to do is bark at him a little bit and see if they can back him down, because that's what they did with her. Because as soon as they came out, she wasn't strong enough to, she didn't have anything to protect herself with. He came out and whacked the crap out of these dogs. And they went, whoa, no one's done that to me before. And that's the reason they've shut down. They're backed up and they're waiting. But again, these dogs have done this before. And so what I want you to do is realize these dogs have done it before. You can tell by the way they came across the street, how targeted and directed they were at this woman. Not playfully, but oh boy, this is going to be fun.
Battling his own health issues, jumped out and grabbed his walking stick.
When I hit the dog between the nose and the forehead, he would let her go. that was happening to my daughter, I sure wish somebody would come to their help.
Ramos helped the woman to safety.
She was covered in blood from her head to her toe.
And, here's the other situation. Here's these dogs, they come out, they grab, they start grabbing and biting. And the thing is when the gentleman took his I think it was his shovel and started hitting the dogs, the only reason those dogs let go was because of their tolerance to pain. If those dogs would have had a maximum tolerance to pain, they wouldn't have let go. And that's the reason the first dog ran off when it was challenged. And then the second dog probably backed off as soon as it was hit the first time. And then the dog that had the highest level of dominance and pain tolerance was the last one to let go when he was cracked across the head. But like I said, there are dogs out there that you can crack them as many times as you want across the head. They're not letting go. And so that's why we have to see this elevation in aggression and realize these dogs are elevating and say, we got to pick these dogs up and get them in and get them euthanized.
Christopher Garza with the Gowan Law Group is the victim's attorney.
These aggressive dogs are making neighborhoods super dangerous. It's not even safe to walk down the street anymore.
He says his client has undergone multiple surgeries. He anticipates more in the future.
We are doing everything we possibly can to make sure we hold the pet owner accountable and the homeowners accountable.
As the woman recovers, Ramos is thankful to have given her a fighting chance.
I'm going to tell you the truth. God put me at the right place at the right time.
And here's a situation where, thank God, he was there. Thank God he had the shovel, and he was, had the bravery to fight these dogs off for this woman. Because if he hadn't, if nobody would have been, just think if she would have been out in the country somewhere where nobody was, nobody would have heard her, nobody would have seen it, and, she possibly could have been killed. And so that's why animal control and the people in these, cities and towns have to realize when they start seeing dogs do, escalate, because the dog keeps doing the same thing over and over again, running out. Like I said, it starts with just the person yelling. Then it starts with the person backing up. Then the victim, is jumping up and down, trying to get away from the dogs. That just elevates the dog's aggression. And so I would like to see more and more people say, don't bring this dog back. This dog is, escalating his aggression. He needs to be put down.
Animal Care Services cited the dog's owner with 10 criminal citations. The dogs have since been euthanized.
The outcome was best for everyone who lives there, because here the dogs were euthanized. They're not going to be escalating anymore. They're not going to cause anyone any more damage. And we've got to get to the point in this country where we get more towards saying this dog is a menace, this dog is dangerous, and the dog goes straight in for euthanasia, instead of saying, well, maybe the dog can be rehabilitated. There are plenty of dogs out there that need good homes, plenty of pit bulls that are wonderful animals that need good homes. These dogs have now shown a pattern of aggressive behavior that's too dangerous for them to stay in a backyard or in a front yard somewhere where they can actually come in contact with with anyone walking in the area.